Hello everyone, welcome to another video by my very self, Prof. Dan. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please kindly do so. It's a way of showing your support, your full support. And at the same time, if there are other videos that are released, you are able to quickly get an alert or be aware of such video. This series is a continuation of our employment-based second preference uh, immigration petition, particularly focused on national interest waiver subcategory. We've had a series of previous videos. I think one of them, this very second video in this series, was filling form I-140, which is one of the forms you fill alongside your written petition. In today's video in particular, we're going to be touching on another form, which is refers to as Form 9089. The link to this form is going to be made available in the description section of this video. Please note that these forms are available freely. They are available for free on the USCIS website. So you want to make sure you download the up-to-date form. You are using the right form. It's very important. So again, you'll find the link in the description section, and join me as we go through today's session, which is going to be very, very easy. For those of you that are just watching this video for the first time, again, go through the description section and you will see my suggestion on how you should progress with the video, starting from the very first one, the second one, up to the sixth one. And this particular one you're watching at this time is the 7th video I'm releasing in this series. Again, just a disclaimer, I am not an immigration expert or officer. I am just Prof. Dan, sharing experience, my personal experience or experience of others in order to help you in self-petitioning by yourself or giving you relevant information, getting aware of how to go about things. Overall, just to make sure you are able to do this thing by yourself easily, or even if someone is assisting you, a lawyer, an immigration expert, you want to make sure that you have an understanding of whatever they are doing for you. So again, if you have already clicked on the link in the description section, which would have taken you to the form on the DOL, I beg your pardon, Department of Labor website. And there you can see the form ETA 9089. And there are different categories of that form. We have the ETA 9089 application for permanent employment certification. We have the one for general instructions, which you can, also go through to be sure you are doing the right thing. We have the one of Appendix A, Appendix B, Appendix C, Appendix D, and we have the last one, which is a final destination. Now, the question is that, are you going to fill all this? It is no. It depends on your category, the subcategory you are applying for, the category you are submitting your petition for will determine which of these ETA 9089 forms that you need to fill. Most importantly, as a takeaway for you, is that ensure you have filling the up-to-date form, which again is available for free in the description link provided. So just a preamble, this Employment and Training Administration refers to as ETA Form 9089 is the application for permanent employment certification that is used by the United States Department of Labor, DOL. And what's the purpose of this labor certification? A permanent labor certification issued by only Department of Labor, is a crucial document that allows a U.S. employer to hire a foreign worker permanently to work in the United States. And how do you prepare for such certification? In most cases, before the U.S. employer can proceed with an immigration petition to the Department of Homeland Security's U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, referred to as USCIS, on behalf of the foreign worker, they must first obtain a certified labor certification application from the Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration. Now, to obtain this certification, the U.S. employer must go through a process with the DOL. And during this process, the employer must demonstrate several key factors. And one of them is that there is lack of qualified US workers. And the employer must prove that there are not enough qualified, willing, available, and able US workers to fill the job opportunity in the intended employment area. And what this means is that they have made genuine efforts, to recruit US workers for the position, but have been unable to find suitable candidates. Literally, that is just how it is. They also want to show that it has no adverse effects. Additionally, the employer must establish that hiring the foreign worker will not have any negative impact on the wages and working conditions of similar employed US workers. And in other words, bringing in a foreign worker should not undercut the rights or opportunities of American employees in similar roles. So what I'm trying to do is just to lay the basic foundation of what this form is all about. Now, another factor is certification submission to USCIS. Now, once the Department of Labor has reviewed the employer's application and is satisfied that the criteria have been met, now they will issue a certified labor certification. Now, with this certification in hand, the US employer can then submit an immigration petition to the USCIS on behalf of the foreign worker. So in essence of all this is that the labor certification process ensures that the US employers prioritize the employment of qualified US workers and do not use maybe foreign workers as a means to undercut wages or working conditions for American employees. So it's a critical step in hiring foreign workers for permanent positions in the United States. Now, that's just a quick general overview, but please take note that whether it's your employer that is filling the form or you are the one filling it in the case of the category of NIW, National Interest Waiver, which literally is that you don't need a job offer. However, you still need to fill some part of this form, and that's what this video is all about. Now, providing false information or assisting someone in providing false information in the preparation of this form ETA 9089 and its supporting documentation is a very serious federal offense in the United States. So this means that intentionally and willingly submitting incorrect or deceptive information on these immigration forms or helping someone else to do so is against the law. And what this means is that when you are filling this form by yourself, make sure you fill the correct thing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to take us through some of these forms that are needed and practically showing us how to fill some of these forms. So basically, for those in the National Interest Waiver subcategory, and in most cases, you are self-petitioning by yourself, submitting your I-140 and your petition, you have to fill this form as well. It is important. Now, for those in this category, basically there are three subcategories of ETA 9089 that you should fill. And one of them, again, you will find it in the link I shared in the description section, and which is the first one is Form ETA 9089 application for permanent employment certification, which is what you see on the screen right now. So you're going to fill this. But for this one, there is no pressure at all. Why? Because most of the information here is for those that are going through the employer category. So that way they have to fill in their employer information. For example, you'll see section A here. Section A here shows employer information. So for your case, for NIW, you don't need this. Again, important things to look at here is you see the expiration date, 10/31/2025. So if you go through that link, you'll see that this is the latest form. Be sure not to use a previous form that has already expired. So in your case now, since you do not need employer information because you are waiving national interest waiver, your claim, your petition is that you do not need an employer for this. That's why you are proving your exceptional talent and making your case in your petition. Legal business name. For Section A, the whole of Section A, you should put not applicable. For the whole of Section A, it is not applicable to you. So in your case, you just put not applicable NA. So you're going to do that for question 1 through 17 for the whole of Section A. Everything is non-applicable. So question 15, I still put the non-applicable. And for 16, there is nothing there. You don't need to check any of the box or question 17. All right, so section B, which is employer point of contact information. Again, you are not doing any of this. So for those that are filling it, you want to make sure you check the instruction document that is also available in that link. But for NIW subcategory, which is my own interest for this video, you do not also need to fill section B. So in that case, it's going to be non-applicable as well. So for question 1 to 14, you're going to put non-applicable NA. For everything up to 14 is also going to be non-applicable. So let's go to section C. Section C is on attorney or agent information if applicable. Let's look at it further. It says indicate the type of representation for the employer in the filling of this application. So again, if it's your employer that is doing all this, and maybe they are using an attorney or an agent, or if it is none, then you have to fill accordingly. But for you, self-petitioning yourself, who do not need a job offer under the category of NIW, you're going to put for question 2 through 16, it is also non-applicable. So this particular form is pretty easy for NIW category. And the next one is section D. Let's see what section D is. Section D says foreign worker information. Foreign worker information. 1. One sec, let me get this color code. So I'm here in section D, foreign worker information. Question 1 says, a completed Appendix A identifying the foreign worker being sponsored for permanent employment by the employer named in section A of this application is attached. For those that have done it before, in their case, they put yes. And that's because for NIW category, you are also going to fill for this Appendix A. Then question 2 says, as the employer contracted with an agent or attorney that also represents the foreign worker covered by this application, that is no for your NIW category. So we go to section E. Section E also is non-applicable. Job opportunity and wage information, you're gonna put non-applicable, yeah? And question 2 in section E is also non-applicable, NA. Question 3, offered wage is also non-applicable. You can put it in the dollar section here, non-applicable. To this dollar range is also non-applicable. Question 4 in this section, well, you don't have to check anything. Question 5 in section D is also non-applicable. So then we go to section F, still on this form, section F. For the whole of section F, question 1, leave them. You don't have to check anything. For question 2, it's also non-applicable. This section F is also talking about area of intended employment information. Since you are filing under the category of national interest waiver, you do not need a job offer. That's your claim, right? So you don't need to fill any of this. So non-applicable. Question 3 to 8A in this section is also non-applicable. You put it all there. Now for F section, subsection B, additional work sites information, nothing for question 1, and for question 2, non-applicable as well. So we go to C part. Now, C part is also asking other definable geographic areas. And again, it's non-applicable. So this form is pretty easy to fill. Then we have section G. Section G is asking additional job opportunity information and other requirements. Those that have filled this before under the NIW didn't check any of this. So I assume you can leave all that blank all the way from question 1, section G, question 1 to question 12. You may leave it all blank. So we go to section H, recruitment information. For that as well, you don't have any business with that. Through subsection A, B, C, and D, you don't have any business with that. So we go to the next one, section E. Also, you don't have any business with that. So that is pretty it for this particular form. For section J, preparer, who is preparing this? Complete this section if the preparer of this application is a person other than the one identified in section B, that is employer point of contact, or section C, attorney or agent of this application. Again, you are self-petitioning this by yourself, so all these parts is also non-applicable. You put it across question 1 to question 6. And that is that for this particular form. One of the 3 you're gonna fill for those under the NIW immigration petition category. So for application for permanent employment certification, form ETA 9089, most of the sections there is non-applicable. So now let's go to the second one, which is Appendix A, and that is another form, Appendix A. So if you have that in your screen, you want to start filling it, let's take a look at some of this, because here you have to fill most of your information. Again, be sure you download the correct form which shows the expiration date of 2025. And this is for the Appendix A, which is one of the one expected of those in the NIW filing category to fill. So A says, Section A now, foreign worker contact information. So this requires you to put in your information correctly, and you can easily type them in. So number one, you type in your last name. Number two, your first name. Number three, your middle name. Number four, your address. And it says current address. So again, don't falsify information. My suggestion, make sure you put in your current address. If you are in the country, if you are outside the country, why not put it? If peradventure you change your address at any point in time and you've already submitted your application, you can go back online with your USCIS online account you've created. You can change your address easily. So you want to make sure you always do that anyway if eventually you change your address. So that's for question 4. Question 6 is all about your address information, the city you have, the country you have for question 9, the state and the country you have. If there is a postal code, you put that. And question 11 is a personal information, date of birth. So you put your date of birth, which aligns with your that's in your passport information. For question 12, class of admission. So now, if you have been if you are in the US already, if you are in the US, how did you get into the US? That's number 12, your class of admission. So I will use an example for some that are currently maybe students and their present visa is F1. So you want to put that F1 here. If yours is another one, you ensure you put the correct thing. And question 13, alien registration number. If you have, put it. If you don't have, you leave it blank. Question 14, country of birth. If you are from India, you put it there. If you are from Bangladesh, from Nigeria, from Ghana, all our viewers from different countries, you put your country of birth and your country of citizenship or nationality. And that's that for section A of this appendix A. Then we go to section B, which is foreign worker education. Again, this particular appendix A, you're gonna have to fill some, most of it. So make sure you supply your correct information. So section B, foreign worker education. And question 1 says, education, US diploma or degree attained relevant to the job opportunity. So the question is, which of these degrees do you have, right? But it says US diploma or degree attained. It didn't say US equivalent degree. To the best of my own knowledge, it didn't say that. So if you already have a bachelor's degree or master's degree, if it's US, you want to put it there, you want to check the box. If it's others, maybe you also put others. If it is none, you want to put it there as well. Okay, so 1B says if other degree in question 1 specify the diploma or degree attained. Well, for 1A, for some that have filled this before, they still put master's degree. So maybe depending on how you interpret this, depending on how you interpret question 1 will determine how you do your question 1A. So if someone interprets it as, oh, well, I do not have a US diploma or degree. So such person puts other degree, for example, or maybe none. Then 1B, you want to specify the type of degree you had. So 1A, if you have a master's or bachelor's, you put in there master's or bachelor's. That's for 1A. For 1B, it says specify majors and or fields of study. May list more than one related major or more than one field. So which field have you had your degree in? If it's engineering, management, you want to put it there. 1C, the name of the institution that issued the degree. If you obtained it in a particular university from your own country or in another country, you put it there. For 1D, name of the country of institution. If you obtain your degree from the United Kingdom, for example, you put it there. And 1E, month or year attained. So, all these information are very important. You want to make sure they are the same with what you have on your profile or maybe your certificates you've obtained. Check them through and fill it in correctly. Section B, subcategory B, education attainment information 2. If you still have other degrees, maybe you have a bachelor's degree, you fill it in, you have a master's degree, you fill it in B, that's what is still the same thing. Then the same thing for categories C and D and E. So all this is all about your education information. If you have had more degrees, you want to put everything there. If it's just one degree or two, just only fill A and B and leave the remaining ones blank. So let's go to section C, which is foreign worker training qualifications. Foreign worker training qualifications. So if you've obtained some certifications, you've had some trainings, and even maybe you are licensed, you want to put the information here. Again, if you have a detailed CV, most of these things already will be on your CV, and you just have to, copy and paste them easily as that. So ensure you develop a robust CV, and that way, when you want to fill some of this form, it becomes easier to do so. You recall that you still have to submit your CV alongside your petition as well. So any information you're supplying here, you want to ensure that it aligns properly with what is also on your CV. So if name of institution, if you have obtained a training in a particular institution, you put it there. And still on subsection C, 1B says training or certification license attained. So what's the name of the training or the certification itself? Then 1C, start date of training, end date of training. So it depends. You put all that there. Some people, it's just the same day started, the same day it ended. So you put the date there and the month or the year. So that's that. And that's what you're going to do for B or C as well. If you have more, you also put it in C, and you also put it in B and in C. If you have more than that, then perhaps you can still include them at the end of the section. So let's go to section D, which says foreign worker training qualification. Section D, foreign worker training qualifications. Here it says skills, abilities, and proficiencies. So again, name of employer or institution or school or training provider. So where did you have the training that you're talking about? In which country? In which state? You want to put all that in 1A and 1B respectively. More interestingly is this 1C. So it says description of specific skills or abilities and or proficiencies the foreign worker possesses or attained, which help establish whether the foreign worker meets the requirement identified for the job opportunity. So in this case, you want to put in all the skills you have. Most likely these are also on your CV, so you can type everything out. Just type them out, If you have skill in project management, team management, for example, data collection analysis, statistical analysis, SPSS, stuff like that. And those in engineering, AutoCAD, using of all these softwares. These are some of the skills that you have. You want to enlist them out. So let's see, and so I think that is that. You also have section E. Section E says foreign worker work experience. So again, you want to make sure it aligns with what you've written on your CV, your work experience. You know, what job have you done before previously? You want to put all the information. Mind you, you know, background check always take place. That's why I said from the beginning of the video that you should ensure that you put in your correct information. You don't want to fall victim of, you know, a falsified supplied information. So foreign worker work experience, put the employer name, the address, details, and in what capacity, the job title, that's 1G, the start date, the end date, and are you working there presently? If yes, you put it yes, and 1K says hours worked per week. So if it's like a part-time, you're doing 20 hours work per week, you put it there. If it's 40 hours, you put it there, depending on your category. So that's that about section E. And lastly, under section E, it's also asked about the job duties. So specify duties of the job. Remember that in your petition, you might have talked through some of these as a case you are building for your petition, written petition. So ensure that everything aligns. Ensure that you are telling a coherent, correct story. So put about job duties of the previous work experience you had. And that is that for Appendix A. So I think most of the job is on this Appendix A. Then we're going to go to the last form, which is a final destination. Don't worry, for this one, you won't do much. It's just going to be like the first one where most cases you just put non-applicable. So let's see on the screen now is the last form for those in the subcategory of NIW. You do not need a job offer and you have to fill this form still. So for this last one, permanent employment certification approval, final destination. So let's look at section A. If you're in that NIW category, you do not need to answer question 1, 2, 3, and 4. You do not need that. So you just want to put in your number 5, the foreign worker's last family name, put your last name. Number 6, put your first name. Number 7, put your middle name if you have any. And that is that for that page. Then you go to the next page, which is the second page, foreign worker declaration. So this is important, especially those of you that will be mailing your petition to the USCIS designated office. You fill this, my advice, fill this form online. It's easier to do so, you know, or, you know, quickly check the box, fill in details, type it in. It's easier to do so. But after you do that, of course, you print out the form because you're going to include it in your mail, right? So, but do not forget to sign. This signature is very, very important. So for section B, what you basically need is number 2, date signed. You want to put in the date, which you can still type in. But for the signature, you want to make sure once printed out, append your signature. Append your signature. Append your signature. That's very important for those that are doing self-petition NIW. And basically, that is just it. So again, so far, that means that you have form I-140, which you will find the link in one of my previous video on how to fill the form. That one too is very robust. You want to make sure you fill the correct thing. Then you also have this form 9089, which are of 3 different ones that are expected of you to also fill. So lastly, to cap it all, I'm just gonna, you know, give you a quick summary or recap of what I've said so far in this particular video. We're filling form ETA 9089, which is final destination, is a specific form using the immigration process, and it's important to understand when and why it should be completed and submitted. So this form is typically used in the context of employment-based immigration, as I've said earlier, particularly when an employer is sponsoring a foreign worker for a green card, that is permanent residency, through Form I-140, which is an immigration petition. Or if you are also self-petitioning by yourself, saying that you do not need a job offer, and under the NIW category exceptional ability, you still have to fill these forms. And you should complete and submit this form only when you are submitting Form I-140 to USCIS in support of either one. Again, like I said, Schedule A, and that one is, this is specific category of jobs designated by the Department of Labor as having a shortage of qualified US workers. It streamlines the green card process for certain healthcare occupations though. The second category is the National Interest Waiver, which is for you. This waiver is sought when a foreign worker contributions are deemed to be of significant national interest, typically in the fields like science, research, management, business, arts, and so on. And when submitting your form ETA 9089, I beg your pardon, to USCIS, in support of your form I-140, you should make sure that you sign the form. Make sure that you sign the form. Make sure that you sign the form. And you put the date as well. And that is it. So I wish you all the best for those of you that are self-petitioning this by yourself. Again, this is just sharing my experience with you, or experience of others whom I've been opportune to be aware of, to make sure that you are able to do this by yourself. And you want to make sure you do the correct things. And if you have questions, you ask people who are experienced in it. If you can't do this by yourself, you contact people that you feel they can help you to do that. And that is it. So check the description section and you will see details about this video, details about how you can reach out to me as well if you want to. And I'll see you all again in another video. If you haven't subscribed, why not just press the button? It doesn't cost you anything, right? All right. Take care and bye-bye.